few days ago, engaging in some conversation on X, Gary Black wrote this. Many of my followers who exited Tesla stock at higher levels want to know when to get back in. My short answer, not until Tesla's price, as in Tesla stock, falls back to $240 or below. Buy low, sell high. Now, it is possible that Tesla will, in fact, fall below $240 again at some point. It's roughly $400 a share today, so that would be a roughly 40% collapse. Absolutely possible. Wouldn't be the first time in Tesla's history that the stock has shed more than 40%. But Dave Lee wrote, Gary, probably not a good idea to suggest people wait till Tesla goes under $240 a share to get back in. We'll see. He adds, I think you're underestimating how quickly FSD is improving and how massive the Robotaxi ramp will be next year. And I suspect Dave may have a point here. Let's wind the clock back. Imagine, if you will, that you are a timing lord, bought a shitload of Tesla stock back in May 2019 for roughly $12 a share split adjusted. For the record, this is while I was overseas on sabbatical. I had an emergency fund. I nuked everything and went all in on Tesla, loaded up like an absolute psychopath at this exact moment. That was the emergency, it turns out, that money was set aside for. And of course, because you're a trading lord, timing genius, you buy at 12, the stock surges, you double your money and then some. Decide, great time, you know what, I'm going to sell it $27 in December 2019. Double my money, and then I'll just wait to buy the dip. From there, Tesla stock surges, doubles and then some again, and then collapses. Almost there, almost at my buyback in price. Oh no, but it's still a little bit more than I sold for. Nah, I can't buy yet, I'll wait for it to dip a little bit more. And then it never does. And then you miss out on nearly 1,400%. Now, I'm not saying this will happen, but I just wanted to demonstrate that it's possible when it comes to any stock. Waiting to, quote, buy the dip sometimes means you wait forever and never have your buying opportunity. You know what? I remember May 2019, late May, early June 2019, so clearly. $12 a share split adjusted, give or take. In fact, I'm sure I was discussing this and no one was listening at that point in time either. Sure enough, here's a post, May 21st, 2019. In which I wrote, I'm from 2025. Well, fancy fucking that. It's actually 2025 now. This will be fun. I just came back in my time machine to buy more Tesla. I guess this guy was suggesting, I mean, I don't know, obviously, because I'm not him, so I'm not sure what he was thinking at the time, but I think what he was thinking at the time and the insinuation in this post was that if this was a person in 2025, they may wish they had a time machine and could go back to 2019 to purchase Tesla stock around $12 a share. But he continues with this post. Just came back in my time machine to buy more Tesla. I thought my machine was faulty and I ended up in 2014. Is he suggesting that Tesla stock in May 2019 was roughly the same price it was back in 2014? Yes, that's exactly what he was suggesting. By the way, shout out to Gally and Hyperchange. Now, 2 people liked this post, so basically 0 people saw this. I'm sure that might change today. I think there was more content around here too, more posts no one saw. Yes, June 1st, 2019, 2 likes as well on this one, 2 comments. This guy wrote, I bought more Tesla at around $180 per share. Now split adjusted, we've got a 5 for 1 and a 3 for 1. So yeah, $12 a share. Bought more Tesla around $12 a share split adjusted. Insane. Insane, that's a pretty strong statement. He continues, Tesla stock is cheaper than 5 years ago. Revenue is 7 times higher. No current competition, strong demand, unassailable lead on FSD. In parentheses, he points out data. Best battery tech, margins growing, Giga 3 to open China market. Also adds $2 billion due from Fiat and Robotaxis imminent. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is back to the topic of waiting for Tesla stock to dip, because I remember quite distinctly, after $12 a share, I loaded the fucking truck up, I backed it up, I had an entire emergency fund while I was overseas in case the shit hit the fan. Not Tesla stock crashing, but hey, I decided, you know what, this is worth the risk. If there's a medical emergency too fucking bad, loading up. Many others were fearful. They panicked. They panic sold, or they panicked and waited on the side. Oh God, it's crashing. Oh my God, what do I do? And then what happened? What happened after $12 a share? I'm sure most of you know what happened after that point. $12 a share or so, Tesla to the fucking moon, up 3,000+% since, and didn't ever get below that level again. Now, what's interesting, what's worth talking about is not the fact that Tesla was extremely cheap relative to its long-term potential back in May, June 2019, although that is true. No, what's interesting, what's worth talking about is a psychology behind investors who saw the stock crash to these levels. In their heads, they're thinking, oh, well, oh God, it could crash even lower, it could crash again. And then what happens? The stock rips higher, up about 300% in just a few months. What's everyone thinking then? Oh, fuck, well, I missed out, or it'll dip again, right? I'll just wait for it to dip. It does dip again, but nowhere near as low as it was previously. So now what do? You were waiting, you saw it rocket up, oh, I missed out, I better wait till it dips. And then it does dip, but not enough. So what are you thinking? Oh, it's going to dip lower, right? And then what happens? In fact, this was one of the contributing factors to me starting this very channel. I was so annoyed at people and the DMF reasoning or lack thereof, oh, just wait for the stock to dip, that I had to say something. Channel launched roughly here, $22 a share. Not far off doubling from those lows in May of the same year. Everyone's, oh, I'm going to wait for the stock to dip. It's doubled, it'll come back, I'll wait for it to dip. Went on right up to $60+ a share before it even pulled back a little. Anyone remember this motherfucker? More than half a decade ago, posts a video titled, Waiting for Tesla Stock to Dip? Good luck. So this video, which you guys can all watch, was recorded all overseas in an Airbnb in an echo chamber, hunched over my smartphone, recording into the phone speaker, covered in blankets and pillows to stop the echo. I'm not kidding, by the way. Sometimes you just got to get started. Posted on the 10th of December 2019. Now, the thesis here was pretty simple. The short story was, in my opinion, Tesla appears to have an enormously positive future. Most investors today don't seem to be recognizing that enormously positive future, but at some point they probably will. And if they do, then maybe waiting for Tesla stock to dip means you miss out on that dip. So let's just do a quick little fact check. What happened following this video being posted back on the 10th of December 2019? Did a buying opportunity or 12 manifest themselves? Was it possible to buy the dip after all? Keeping in mind that anything could have happened. That doesn't prove or disprove whether or not the reasoning in this video made sense, because stock can be extremely volatile and irrational over the short term. But let's look anyway. So let's find the 10th of December 2019 or close enough to it. Okay, so call it 22 or so dollars a share. Hey, what do you know? I thought we just kind of historically looked almost at that exact same period of time. So that video went live. Let's call it $23 a share, 22, somewhere around there, split adjusted. Did Tesla ever dip beyond that point? Well, almost immediately the stock goes up 150-ish%. Coincidence? I'm sure. It had nothing to do with the fact that Tesla finally started printing insane profits after their business, the Model 3 in particular, had scaled massive production, which was inevitable and obvious and around the corner, and explicitly detailed in that very video. Actually, that's kind of what happened. And remember, on Wall Street, it's illegal to anticipate. You need to react instead. That's why none of the analysts and the deep-pocketed investors anticipated Tesla reaching scale, benefiting from economies of scale and printing crazy money. Instead, they waited until they saw the crazy money and went, oh, fuck. Oh, they're printing crazy money because they've reached scale now. Oh, shit. Now, we look a little bit further into the future, and it turns out never again would Tesla be at the price point it was when that video was published. Could have gone the other way. There could have been many more opportunities, but it just so happens there weren't. In that video, my main message was, in my opinion, based on what I know, where I see Tesla headed, what I anticipate in the future, the risk of waiting is significantly higher than the risk of holding, if I'm right. Because if that dip doesn't present itself, well then what? Just imagine what's going on in the mind of somebody who at that exact moment was thinking, you know what? I'll wait to buy the dip. Either I don't own any or I've sold a little bit for a profit, but I'm going to wait until it dips below my sale price or where it currently is. Call it $22 a share. So what happens? It surges, gets up to, call it split adjusted, $50, $60 a share, and you think, oh fuck, that's crazy. Well, I'll just wait for it to dip. And then it does dip, in fact. It collapses and it's not too far off that $22 range, but it doesn't quite get there. So, oh wait, it's dipping, it's collapsing, it's obviously going to go lower, I'll just wait. And then it rips up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800%, 1,000%, 1,600%. Now at this point, having watched Tesla go from $22 a share to $400, you're thinking, well, don't worry, I'm sure it's going to dip below $20 again one day, right? I haven't missed out. And then, lucky you, Tesla stock collapses and collapses and collapses all the way down to a little over $100 per share early into 2023. Only needs to collapse another 80% and you'll be able to buy the dip. But then it just rockets higher. Now, they say history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. And I have a suspicion, a hunch, a feeling that unless Tesla stock splits again, odds of 240 again, probably relatively low. I mean, it could happen. But personally, I would rather have deployed my capital into Tesla stock, which is what I've done, before Robotaxi scale massively, than waiting on the sidelines hoping, remember hope is not a strategy, hoping for the stock to dip. especially for it to get back around $240 a share, which would be a market cap of maybe a little over $600 billion. Speaking of history rhyming, looking now at Tesla stock over the last 1 year, over the last 12 months, up about 75%. And I'm going to suggest March, April 2025, a little over $200 a share was probably our May, June 2019. Now, I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong because I'm still buying, so the cheaper the better. But I wouldn't be betting on it. So let me wrap it up. If you believe what I believe about Tesla, and obviously Gary doesn't, I mean that genuinely, otherwise he'd be loading up. But if you believe what I believe about Tesla, the idea of waiting for Tesla to dip below, let's say, 240 a share, in other words, waiting for it to collapse another 40%, introduces an enormous amount of risk. Because what if it doesn't? And since I know and admit openly that my brain is far too small to time the market, I don't try. Anyway, we'll see. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1 year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.